Welcome to day one of the second blog. This site is in many ways typical of a certain kind of archaeological site. It's typical of certain areas of English countryside. You get a church, which is behind me, a sort of old manor house, and then it's surrounded by lumps and bumps. It's a sort of archetypical type English site in some ways. And in these fields over here are a whole range of ridge and furrow. And in the background, a village. The interesting thing is that there's a huge difference between the church and the manor house and the village. There's a huge distance between the two of them. There's 2 or 3 fields here full of lumps and bumps. The local community here are very, very enthusiastic. We had about 200 kids in total chaos this morning while we tried to allocate them to various pits around the village. They're all digging test pits as we speak. But in this particular field, what we're trying to see is if the medieval village that is under here, we think might be under here, was that also something which extended to the current village? Can those people over there say, actually we were part of a huge medieval village in about the 14th century? Which would be very exciting for them. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to follow up an excavation, a small excavation they did in this field. They got the permission of the landowner, they sorted everything out and did a very small excavation. We are going to be re-excavating that, and the big question is, can we find pottery there from the medieval period that matches up with pottery from the village? Because if that's the case, there's a possibility there was a huge village here and it actually contracted, and the modern one over there is the remains of it. And here we have the manor house and church. Behind me you can see a wonderful hill in the background, and we know that there's prehistoric sites here as well, so we may well be finding prehistoric material in the trenches. That the first job is to reopen that trench and see what we can find. The interesting prospect is that often these villages shrank for tedious, boring economic reasons, but some of them suddenly disappeared because of the Black Death. And if we can find pottery that stops at a certain period, there is just a chance that this might be one of those rare sites where we can show that the village disappeared because of the horrendous plague and Black Death that came here around about 1340. So it's a very interesting period of English history, but in some ways quite typical. So we're going to be doing a blog. I hope you enjoy what we do. The diggers just started up behind me, so you'll see a big yellow JCB in the middle of this idyllic setting, and I hope you enjoy what we're going to do and keep following us.